Okay, we're going to look at the fourth paragraph in Federalist number 2. John Jay continues with, "It has often given me pleasure to observe that independent America was not composed of detached and distant territories, but that one connected, fertile, wide-spreading country was the portion of our Western Sons of Liberty." He shares his happiness that America, the 13 states that became independent, are attached to each other. One by one, they're side by side. They're not spread out with other colonies in between them. Also, when he mentions fertile, he's talking about how blessed they are in a sense that they've got all sorts of climate, which is very conducive, very good to raise crops, for all sorts of farming. They've got lots of trees for timber, to build ships, to build different things. So he's taking the reader in that direction. He's saying, remember what you all have, this vast land that is really blessed, and you're lucky to have it. We're lucky to have it, he says. Providence has in a particular manner blessed it with a variety of soils and productions, and watered it with innumerable streams. Lots of rivers, lots of streams, all over the place, for the delight and accommodation of its inhabitants. Not only it pleases your soul, it pleases your heart to be around such a beautiful thing, but it will also accommodate you with all the things you need to live a good life, to live an abundant life. A succession of navigable waters. These are little rivers that you can actually put a boat on, put a ship on sometimes, and navigate it. It comes from the word navy, the same root, navigating waters. From a kind of chain round its borders, as if to bind it together. It says we're lucky in so many ways. On one side, we've got the ocean that creates that border for us. And on the other side, we've got these rivers that not only will be good for us to use to move ourselves from one place to another, but also to move what we produce. Remember, one of the things that I showed you, the reason I said rivers, look at the rivers of the United States, I did not show all the streams because we can't see it on this map. But at that time, when there was no paved roads, there are no cars, nothing like that, the only way you could carry things from one place to another was either put it on a carriage and pull it with a mule on a cart or something. And with the rough roads, it would be so difficult. Or you could put them on a ship or a boat, flat boat or a regular boat, and carry them around. That's why rivers were very, very important at the time. So he's saying we've got all these blessings. While the most noble rivers in the world, running at convenient distances, present them with highways for easy communication of friendly aids and the mutual transportation and exchange of their various commodities. So we've got these great rivers that we can, when he uses communicate, it's not just language. You can, of course, send letters or things like that, send messages, but what he's talking about is mostly trade. trading what you produce in one area of the country with other things that others produce, and you can trade and you can all prosper. And it's very, very important at that time. And I'll tell you more about like the Jay's Treaty and some of the stuff that happened, that you'll see how important rivers like Mississippi were, especially to Southerners. We will see that here briefly once we just go along and read some more. When the time comes, I'll share it with you. So when he says mutual transportation and exchange of their various commodities, mutual, both sides. Excuse me. It benefits both sides. So in this sense, it'll benefit all the states, all the people of all the states will benefit from one another's commodities. So he's telling them all the good things that they need to focus on and not fall for all the lies that the other people are saying about, oh, confederacies, we can make 3 confederacies out of these 13 states. He's constantly reminding them of the good things. We will gradually talk about, because of the good climate of the South for growing things, they could they could put aside large areas of land to cultivate, some places tobacco, some places rice, indigo, different things. And gradually they started growing cotton, and that became so big, and it became so influential that gradually the South became so rich, and they started seeing the possibility, they started getting richer, and they thought, well, this is something that we are not going to give up to anybody. And that was the beginning of the gradual move towards Southerners wanting to expand the institution of slavery. Because when you have all these big areas that you want to cultivate, especially things that are hard to either grow or at the right time to go pick and send abroad, they at the time, they decided that they have to have slaves. They have to have enslaved people. And that gradually made them see things differently. And eventually we know where it led to. Unfortunately, it led to the Civil War. So we'll talk about that some more here in a little bit.